Predictability is huge. When you're standing there and you've got wedges, whether it's 3-wedge system or 4-wedge system or just a 2-wedge system, you've got to understand, what does this club do for me? If I pull it out of the bag, what am I going to get? It's the box of chocolates, right? Surprises, good and bad, don't work in golf.
Yeah, I tend to be pretty accurate. It's just more sort of distance control. That seems to be my main problem. And then just sort of things like sort of chipping and bunker plays, things you don't really get to practice very often. I mean, my course at home has a nice putting green, but over sort of short game facilities, so you don't really get a chance to practice. Then you get stuck out on the course, facing these tricky shots, and you sort of a bit of a problem. I didn't get fitted for my Titleist wedges. I suppose with hindsight, I mean, I've got a pretty good idea how far my 50 and pitching wedge goes, but 54, 58, they seem to go fairly similar distances. So again, just the gapping, sort of knowing a full swing with this will go X amount of yards would be a sort of nice thing to have in my bag. I did mention to him my main problem with my wedge at the moment is the yardages and the gapping, how far they go. I mean, he looked at my clubs I've currently got, and he basically said the shafts I've got are very weighted towards the bottom of the shaft, and says I'm going to find the distance control really inconsistent. So it gets almost like a trampolining effect with the same club face, which is what I found exactly. So what he's done for me is he's fitted me in gone from a Dynamic Gold standard shaft for my Titleist wedge to a Nippon shaft with the Cleveland wedge. And it's such a softer feel. Yeah, I mean, I only hit sort of 4 or 5 shots, but straight away you could feel it. It's a much softer feel, and I felt I was getting far more consistent strikes and consistent distances. But I think, as I said, with the shafts I had, the yardages were sort of all over the place. I was finding I'd often hitting a 58 further than my 54. So I've gone for a 56, you're going to bend down to a 55, and then go for a 60 as well. So I've got a consistent 5-yard or 5-degree gap.
Just did a fit with Simon, and we're just working with him on his yardages and splits and how he feels. It's interesting, his pitching wedge was really good, it was well dialed in, it was a good fit for him, the shaft was good. It was about a 125, 127 carry, which he liked, and he consistently did that number. And then we went to the wedges, and behind that his yardage gapping was really poor. He hit long, hit it short. It was a struggle for him to control his distances, and he can play, so that's scary. So now he's playing different shots, different yardages, not knowing what he's going to get. So we changed the feel. We tried to map the same feel on the shaft in the wedges as his irons. So what we did was we used a Nippon WV115, so similar sort of weight profile, slightly heavier, which is good for a wedge. Moved the balance point slightly higher, nearer the grip, and it was a lot more of a softer feel than what he had in the past. He had another brand of wedges with a weight that was more predominantly down the bottom, slightly heavier and more tip stiff, and he felt they were a little bit dead. He felt the face speed was uncontrollable, which is what we were seeing on the numbers. And so behind that we went to the WV, which is slightly softer in the feel, more weight near the grip, and he just hit them so much more consistently. His 54, or actually we made him a 55-60 kind of split. We just moved that around a little bit, so he's got that 90-yard shot now, which is one he really struggled with. 95 was a horrible yardage for him. So now he's got his 55 degree, which he can hit 95 all day long, and it worked out great. He loved the feel. We matched up the same sort of like characteristics of the wedges, slightly longer, quarter longer, slightly flatter, and he just felt really comfortable, which is a big thing when you're talking about short game, feeling comfortable with that yardage, because no one likes to be exposed at a short shot looking an idiot. So good fit, went well, and I think he enjoyed it.
Wedge fitting is not something I never thought about doing beforehand, but having seen the effect it has with different shafts, it's a huge difference.